Hey there. Happy Thankful Thursday and Happy New Year's Eve. I know you're ready for 2020 to end, and I don't blame anyone for that. It's been a doozy. But I've been doing this New Year's Eve ritual for a few years now after a mentor taught it to me, and I think it's really important we do it this year. So I'm going to teach it to you. It's very simple. Basically, a few years ago, I was talking to a mentor and I was saying, I'm really good with all this joy and compassion kind of stuff, but I'm really ready for this year to end. It'll be good. And she reminded me that everything that's happened in a year is part of the fabric of my being, and that the lessons that I learn from that, even the challenges, are things to be grateful for. And I want us to think about that really hard in 2020, okay? Now, I also list out all my triumphs. So what the ritual is that I sit down alone for a little while without anyone. I did that this morning after my meditation. And I list out all my triumphs of the year. They were smaller this year, but they were there. And then I list out all my challenges. You can do it in whatever order you want. And I list out why those challenges are lessons that I'm grateful for. Now, I'm not saying I'm glad 2020 happened to anyone. I am certainly not glad. As a physician, I can tell you, for all the loss and the death and the pain and the suffering for society, economically, physically, mentally, emotionally, our children, I could go on and on. But I do want to share with you what I listed out, just some of them, because I had many challenges this year, and I listed out some of them and just thought I would share a few of them with you today, maybe 5 or 6 or something, and give you inspiration to list out your biggest challenges of this year, but what you're thankful for from them. Okay? So let's do it. So number 1, I learned everything can change in an instant. Everything we do, every day we wake up, we take for granted sometimes. All of it can change. It can be taken away from us. It can be transformed in ways we never thought possible. And it allows me to live in this moment and appreciate it even more. So that's number 1. Number 2 is I got to practice really profoundly how to live in uncertainty. Now, I live in uncertainty with my son all the time, as you know, since he has a fatal disease. But this was even levels above because the entire world around me was uncertain. And sometimes I look to those around me for grounding in my personal uncertainty with my son. But now nothing was certain. Everything was chaos. And I got to practice that. And when we practice that, how to live in uncertainty, then we become more grounded in the center of our being. Okay, so number 2. Number 3 is that this is mine as a physician, but health disparities were unveiled in ways that I couldn't have helped unveil quicker. Meaning I work every day in my profession with vulnerable communities to try to bring equity to disparities. And this year unveiled them to everyone so that I felt like it was more clear and more apparent. That doesn't make me happy that they're there, but it does make me know that we need to fix them, and now maybe more people are aware of them. Number 4, layers of privilege were unveiled beyond belief. In racial justice and social justice work, right? So much suffering unveiled for everyone, an awakening like I've never seen. But I'm just going to get down to minutia here so you see how I do this. I'm even looking at privilege that we really don't notice sometimes. For instance, I am guessing that over these holidays, you, like me, have been sad that you can't see a lot of your family that you might normally have seen. I get it. I haven't seen my parents in over a year. I get it. But let's not forget that it is a privilege to be able to buy a plane ticket and go visit our family, to be able to be free enough financially and socially to go visit people. Most people, many people in the world do not have that privilege. They're separated from their families because of financial hardship, because of being refugees, oppression, trauma, war. I could go on and on. Not to mention people losing people through death, but just by this mere act of like, I can't see people or I can't practice the holidays the way I did. That's a big privilege. So I'm just using that as one example, but there were many layers of privilege that were unveiled, right? I feel like this year we learned how to really rely on gratitude and hope in ways that we have not had to before. And so we're practicing our skills that'll make us more resilient. And maybe I'll do one more. I feel like this year has taught us more than anything that our capacity for coping lies within ourselves, that we are our truest resource, and we need to cultivate that. It's something I preach all the time, but I've really felt it this year. So those are just a few. So really sit down and look at this year, because when I did that and when you do it, you'll feel your biochemistry and your energy shift in a way that'll let you go into 2021 with more power, openness, and certainty in yourself. Okay? So don't go into 2021 without it. I'm telling you, it'll make all the difference. I know you want to leave 2020, but take the good from it first. Okay? And I'm wishing all of you always all the best that 2021 can bring. I'm hoping that our entire world sees brighter days, that pain and suffering is eased. I'm hoping for so much, bountiful vaccines, so much. And I'm always here to hear, I'm always would love to hear how this went for you and what you learned from it. All right, I'm sending you all lots of love.